Yo guys, welcome back to another update. I don't know, I've lost what update number this is on Fausto, but we have disturbance number one in the sea path, well south of Hawaii. A large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms located well southwest of the Hawaiian Islands is associated with a broad area of low pressure. Environmental conditions appear conducive for some gradual development of this system while it moves generally westward about 10 miles an hour towards the international dateline. A tropical depression is likely to form in the western Pacific basin early next week, and they're giving it a 40% chance in the next 2 days and a 70% chance in the next 7 days, which is pretty impressive if you ask me, guys. Obviously, we got Fausto. It was 105 miles an hour yesterday, but don't get me wrong though, Fausto's still looking incredibly good. It's 100 miles an hour now. This time yesterday, it was still struggling to organise. Now it's got an eye on everything. I personally believe, in my own personal opinion, I think this just reached 110. Just. I'm not saying there's any evidence for it. That's what I think, and based on satellite analysis anyway, satellite data. I think the storm was 110 miles an hour. Yes, I know it was officially 105, but it can always get upgraded or downgraded in postseason analysis, and I can always downgrade it at the end of the year when I do my analysis. And what I'm starting to do fresh analysis every year. It's something that I'm starting this year. Something I'm starting at the end of this year. My brand new analysis will be good. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll find the time for it to do it over the Christmas period. So I'll be a busy bee. But this is what they are discussing. This is what the forecast is. So 100 miles an hour. This update. Next update. Well, currently right now, next update is in 12 hours, which will be 90, and then 85, 85, 75, 70, 65, 50, and then 40. And at that point, though, they might have to issue tropical storm watches and warnings for Hawaii, because if you click on Fausto's cone right now, it is currently expected to either track north of Hawaii or over Hawaii. Because don't forget, anywhere in that cone the storm can track. So if it's south of the cone, it can track. It could be track north of the cone, or it could track in the middle of the cone. Now at this point, Fausto was at this point Fausto was meant to die off before reaching Hawaii. Now it could make it to Hawaii as a tropical storm. We've also got, I don't know if you guys saw it, but we also got Tropical Storm Genevieve at the moment, which is 60 miles an hour. Pressure of 997 millibars, moving west-northwest at 15 miles an hour, located at 10.8 degrees north, 104.3 degrees west. As of Central Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday, July 25th, 2026. This is what it's meant to be, and oh boy. It is meant to be the first major hurricane of this Eastern Pacific season. About time we get a hurricane for this year in this part of the basin. So on the 27th is when it's meant to be peaking at 130 miles an hour, a category 4. So it's meant to go from 115, 120, 125, 130. It's meant to go 10 miles an hour or 20 miles an hour. It's meant to go 20 miles an hour from 115 to 130, which is some crazy intensification. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets higher than 130. Now, I'm being conservative and go 120, 125 on this system for the simple reason is because it's still a tropical storm. It's still early out. Yes, it is expected to rapidly intensify. Yes, it is expected to become a hurricane. Yes, it is expected to become a major hurricane. But Genevieve was meant to become 110 miles an hour. That's sort of what kind of busted, but also kind of didn't at the same time. Because it did eventually get to a Cat 2, and the NHC was predicting 110 miles an hour. Yes, it didn't reach 110, but it did reach 105. So technically, if you say it was a bust, technically it wasn't, but also technically, when it should have peaked, it was a bust. Because it peaked later on in the track. Um, it peaked later on in the track. So, yeah, but anyway, this is what the thought. It says 65, 60, then 75, 90, 115, 130, 125, 120, 105, and then 180, and then 80 at the end of the cone. And that's by July 30th. So, and also, guys, about typhoon, about Noel, when I did my video the other day, right? Noel, right, was a tropical storm. Now it's hit Hong Kong. Well, just off the west of Hong Kong anyway, but it did hit Hong Kong. Well, slightly Hong Kong, just slightly east of Hong Kong. So okay, no, it hit west of Hong Kong, should I say? My bad. Um, as a cat two, 110 miles an hour, which is pretty impressive. If it had more time over warm water, it would have been 115, maybe even 120 miles an hour because it was rapidly intensifying. It would have deepened and the eye would have opened up. The eye would have, you know, gave it more of that intense to make it stronger. But thank God it only did make landfall as a Cat 2. Yes, Cat 2 could still cause significant amount of damage. Don't get me wrong about that. But at least it didn't become a major typhoon, which is brilliant. It's still significant amounts of damage. Eddie knots, 970 millibars. That was the last update. Currently, right now, though, I believe it is 90 knots at the moment, and then about 964, about 962. No, not 960, 966 to about 968 millibars, which is still kind of low, I guess, for a Cat 2, but this storm's deepened significantly over the past 12 hours. And if you see here, look, if you take it back to where it was, right, this is what it was, right? Yes, okay, it did look like a typhoon, but at this point, it was 70 miles an hour at this point. You bring it all the way back to the cone, you see, look, an eye starting to develop, bang, an eye pops out, well, an eye it kind of does kind of pop out, but also kind of don't at the same time. But there is an eye there, and it does actually near land make landfall. So yeah, it looks good though. It looks very good indeed. It looks extremely good. Only if this had more time over water, it would have been a Cat 3. But thankfully it didn't. I'll show you Fausto. Fausto, bearing in mind, Fausto's in cold water right now. But it is still looking tremendously good. Look how good it looks. Fausto's still looking decent. It's still looking good. It did weaken a little bit probably overnight due to probably a little bit of dry air, but it's covered the. It's not the dry air out now, and it's still got a sense of circulation. Whether that's an actual general eye or whether that's just dry air. But I can tell you now, that is an eye. That is an eye. I think I'm like 90-50 sure that is an eye. So that's what Fausto looks like. I mean, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. For a weakening storm, it looks pretty good. Now, I'll show you Genevieve. Now, I believe Genevieve's a hurricane. I believe Genevieve's a hurricane. Just look how good Genevieve looks. Just look how good Genevieve looks. That, if you tell me that's not a hurricane, if you tell me that is not a hurricane on the latest frames, if you tell me that's not a hurricane, you are dumb. That is a hurricane. That is a hurricane. It's got the it's got the outflow bands as a hurricane. It's got the inflow bands as a hurricane. Yes, Dvorak maybe not, and I get it. It's Dvorak. They always say how strong these storms are in the Eastern Pacific because I don't know if Recon is going to go into Genevieve. There's Recon going into Fausto, which I don't know why. It's far away from Hawaii. It's like 1,000 miles away from Hawaii. Why are they sending Recon out? It's stupid. Send it out to Genevieve. Genevieve's a lot closer. You can just fly it from Los Angeles. I don't know why they're sending it out, guys. Just ignore it. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the NHC are doing, sending Recon out from Hawaii. By the way, from Hawaii, when it's like literally 1,000, like probably 2,000 miles away from Hawaii, maybe even a lot further away from Hawaii, and they're sending Recon out, which is stupid. By the time it gets there, there still will be weakening. So yeah, that is Genevieve. That's the update for you. Analysis tool. Obviously, I will show you the El Nino and just look at that. Plus 2 degrees above the long-term average. That is a strong El Nino. We are heading into a super El Nino later on this year, but we're in a strong El Nino. It was like this in 2023, but obviously 2023 was different. Obviously, I am not comparing this year to 2023. Okay, before all you guys come at me in the comments saying, "Oh, why are you comparing 2023 to this year?" Blah blah blah. I am not. I'm just saying that the El Nino at this time of year back in 2023 was weaker. Yes, it was weaker. It peaked October, November time at around about 2.5 degrees, 2 degrees above the long-term average. So this probably will beat, well, it will most likely 100% beat 1997's El Nino, 2015's El Nino, 1992's El Nino, and 2023's El Nino combined. I think could get to 3, maybe 3.5, but I think 4 is pushing it. 4 is pushing it for sure. But you never know. You never know. We're about to have an El Nino that goes plus 4 degrees above the long-term average. It's bound to happen. So obviously, and this is what the El Nino looks like, and of course, just look at that warm tongue of extremely warm water off the coast of Peru, which is making kind of that horseshoe shape. And obviously, you got that cold water in the north. Usually, in an El Nino year, you have that warm water in the coast of Alaska. Well, it's like we saw in 2015, for example. 2014, 2015, we had that warm water off the coast of Alaska, and then we had the El Nino, and then you had the whole of the Atlantic was cold back then. So, and we do have an Atlantic Nino, which will probably suppress, which will probably will make more tropical cyclone activity come up. I don't know what, I don't know if does Atlantic Nino, I think Atlantic Nino suppresses activity in the MDR. I'm not quite sure. I have to look that up, but I think it does suppress uh, um Atlantic activity in the MDR. I'm not 100% sure on that. If it doesn't, then it will make the Atlantic MDR a little bit more active, but also kind of not at the same time due to the El Nino. But Hawaii, you guys need to be on high alert this year because yes, I'm not saying you're going to have a major hurricane hit you. I'm not saying that. But you guys will have a major hurricanes passing north of you and south of you this year. 100% due to that warm water that is near Hawaii. I honestly think we could get a very long tracking storm. A little bit like what John, of, and a bit like Dora as well. I think we're going to see like a Dora type system this year in August. Now, whether it's going to be early August, late August, September, maybe late September. Don't know. But am I expecting a Cat 5 in the East Pack? 100%. 100% I'm expecting a Cat 5 in the Eastern Pacific this year. We saw one in 2023 and that was an El Nino. We basically saw one in 2024 as well. And that wasn't an El Nino, it was a La Nina, which was pretty rare because a Cat 5 hasn't even formed in an El Nino year. Well, yeah, it has. Back in 2007, 2010, CDL 165. Don't forget, and that was an El Nino, that was a La Nina year. So it can still happen. Cat fires can still happen in an El Nino year in the Atlantic. Don't forget, we saw it with Andrew, and we saw it with a couple other storms that was like a warm neutral to El Nino year. Lee formed an El Nino year, and that was a Cat 5. Andrew was a Cat 5 in an El Nino year. Now, I'm not saying we will get a Cat 5 this year. I'm just saying it can 100% is possible that that we can see a Cat 5, if you know what I mean. Western Pacific Basin. Oh, I need to show you the model ones. There is a very powerful storm that's going to form in the Western Pacific. But I'll show you the model ones quickly. North Atlantic. There's no point me showing it, but there's nothing. Well, actually, there was a little area spin that goes near Cape Verde. Whether that's a tropical depression, I think that is a tropical depression. Nah, that's nothing. It's just a little spin and then dies off. But there is a little something that does come off the coast of Virginia, which could become a tropical, but I highly doubt it. And then on, I think, what, that's August 2nd. August 2nd, there's a little tropical wave or a little tropical system that does try and come off the coast of Florida, and skirts up the coast of the United States. We do have to keep an eye on that for sure. But other than that, nothing at all. August 10th, absolutely nothing. Mid-August, you see nothing in the Atlantic. Like 2022 all over again. It's like 2022 all over again. And this season's kind of running me like that, where we had storms from in June and July, but we didn't have any storm form in August. And if that gets, if I look back and it's the 25th of August this time next month, and we haven't had a single storm in August, then it'll be the second quietest, or it'll be the quietest on record since 2022. I think we will get a storm though. We're bound to get a storm in August. For sure. 100% for sure. Westpac. That's a big deal. Western Pacific is a massive deal because look, obviously you got noul there, and just look how 924 millibars. August 1st, 924 millibars north of the Mariana Islands. Mad. That is crazy. 924 millibars. A super typhoon again. That means we would have had a super typhoon. That means we had a major in every single month. April, we had Sinlaku. May, we had, or was it May? No, June. In June, we had Michaela. July, we had um, Bavi. And now, if this storm does materialize, we would have a storm. We have a super typhoon in August. That means we've had five. That means we would have had four storms forming in three of the most active months. Well, two of the most active months. April is very rare, but you can still get a significant storm in April that does form in that part of the region of the Western Pacific. Obviously, and then obviously August 20th. And obviously after that, you do see some more areas of thunderstorms. This storm does weaken a little bit, and then it does re-intensify again back to 936 millibars, and then it hits Japan as a 951 millibar storm. 951 millibar storm. Category high end Cat 3, low end Cat 4 storm. Mad. So, yes, it's August 8th. That is what? 2 weeks out from now. It can change. It can 100% certainly change. Is that with Bavi, that every model was expecting it to hit Taiwan. It never hit Taiwan. It never did. So, it can change. For sure. 100% it will change. And then it's meant to go into the north, and then it's meant to go into the Sea of Japan, skirt up the coast, well, basically make landfall in South Korea, and then it comes off the border of North Korea and makes a landfall in North Korea near I don't know where that is on the coast. But it makes a landfall again on it makes a landfall on the North Korean, Chinese and Russian border, which is very rare to see actually. Very rare. 971 as well. 971. That's that's a Cat 1. That's a Cat 1 equivalent typhoon. 971. And you got a little area here, 993, just off the coast of Taiwan. You got a 1000 millibar storm here out in the middle of nowhere. And you got a 978 millibar storm here, which I think that one does come. No, that one. Okay, no. Nothing comes from the CPAC apart from this system, which actually no, it's not. This system is totally something different. This system is different. Yeah, this is a different system. 100%. Yeah, this is a different system. This one's a different system for sure. You can see if it was one from the CPAC, it would have drifted from the sea. It would have drifted in from the CPAC, and it would have got there by Tuesday, and it wouldn't be as strong. That's what the models are saying, but the model ones have this really, really exploding. So basically, 924 it weakens a little bit, and then re-intensifies again to 923 millibars, and then bang. It's just a really significant storm. Could put a lot of people in play, especially in Japan and South Korea. And North Korea as well, don't forget. Yes, North Korea, they aren't rich, they're a poor country, but it could still be affected by a significant typhoon. So South Korea, Japan, keep an eye out on this storm. Even the Mariana Islands again. Keep an eye out for the system because you could get your third blow in the space of 3 months. April, June, July, and August. April, July, and August. 3 months. Three out of the 4 months that we've had tropical activity in the Westpac. Two storms have made landfall or passed near the islands of the Mariana Islands. If this one makes it a third, I think that will make it a record. Surely, surely that will be a record. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up here. I've been yapping too much. I'll see you tomorrow in the next update. Genevieve will be my number one priority right now for this channel and this system, which is the potential for another Cat 5. Yeah, another Cat 5. I'm not saying it will be a Cat 5, but it potentially could be another Cat 5 in the Western Pacific. That means we'll have three Cat 5s in the space of 3 months, which is crazy. But yeah, anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, stay safe from these hurricanes, these typhoons. Get your hurricane preparedness kits ready right now because it only takes one storm to do significant amount of damage. Whether it's a tropical storm, a Cat 1, a Cat 2, a Cat 3, a Cat 4, or a Cat 5, it doesn't have to be a major hurricane to cause significant amounts of damage. But I'm out. Declan Storms is out, and I should see you all tomorrow in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe, share, smash the comments. Don't forget to follow me on X and Instagram. Links will be in the description below. Also follow me on Facebook, where I'll be putting out updates on Genevieve, Fausto, and this potential system. And Noel, obviously, I will do one update on Noel, obviously, because my handful, but this potential system in the Westpac, I'll be watching it, be keeping an eye on it for you guys. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Love you all. See you soon. Peace out and stay safe. And it's goodbye from me and my team. Goodbye.